Hey everybody, it's Carolyn Henry here. I'm the supervisor for a Junior Nordic program. Most of you know me, but a handful of you don't. So I'll look forward to meeting you guys when we get together on snow later this month. For now, I want to share with you some ideas about teaching children and teens and how that can be quite different than teaching adults. And hopefully this will help us deliver great lessons to our kiddos. We all know the hallmarks of a happy learner: engaged, focused, challenged just enough, feeling big, accomplished, and a good tired at the end of the lesson. That's kind of what we all live for when we're teaching kids. And in this slideshow, we're going to start with a framework called Playful Teaching that's been developed by PSIA Central as a way to think about how to give kids the best learning experience on snow. Then I'm going to add a few tips that I think are super important to engaging kids in any activity, honestly. And then we'll cover our different age groups: our youngest kids, 3 to 6, then our middle kids, 7 to 12, our little Nords, what we call little Nords, and then our older kids, our free healers and trailblazers, which are our teenagers. And the different things, what's really quite different about teaching all three of these groups. Finally, I'll close with some tips on avoiding behavior problems and some additional resources for you to look at the end of the show. Here we have the framework for playful teaching that PSIA has established. As you can see, the back wheel is the learning process that we go through with kids. That's the one that we know. We teach with all our groups: the play, drill, adventure, summary, and we repeat that cycle. And the kids see it, they think it, they do it, and they feel it. What's a little harder to kind of see structurally and is a little more esoteric is this idea of the learning environment, which is created through activities that are challenging. They provide novelty, they create meaning for people, and they provide opportunities for friendship. And PSA calls these different kinds of fun: serious fun, hard fun, easy fun, and people fun. And of course, above all, there's safety, just like in our program. And the teacher and the child are working in the learning structure, the learning process, and in the learning environment together. There's a YouTube series. It's very good, and I've provided the link here, and it's also in the resources in the back. So what does make a fun lesson for kids? What is the magic there to having fun in your lessons? And as we said, there's 4 different kinds of fun. There's people fun. And when we say people fun, we mean that there's opportunities for collaboration. Kids can collaborate on a project, on an activity, on an adventure, cooperation, and of course competition, especially with our older kids. And then serious fun is more what is relevant to the kids. It provides meaning and value, and it changes how you feel about something. So serious fun is about meaning. Hard fun is about challenge, and it's a challenge, but yet it's achievable, and you have learning experiences. You're pursuing a goal. It's a challenge, and we often will integrate this with our theme. This year, our theme is Night at the Museum, and we'll present challenges and goals that kids have to reach. But they also have challenges of just learning to ski, which is mainly what this is about. And then the easy fun is about exploring, being out in the open, maybe in a snowstorm. It's novelty, its enjoyment, and especially amongst our younger ones, it's about the wonder of the experience of the outdoors, and the awe and mystery. And again, a lot of this is part of our storyline as well. So just to delve a little bit deeper on some of these ideas, collaboration, as we just said, is an example of people fun. And in order for students to collaborate, they really need to get to know each other. And so part of your job as an instructor is to get to know your students so that they can, that facilitates them getting to know each other. So you have a leadership role there. Relevance is part of meaning, creating meaning, and serious fun, what PSIA calls serious fun. And if you have children of your own or around kids for any length of time, you know that things that are important to you are certainly not necessarily important to younger people. And so that is a really important thing to address and to find what is relevant to them, because that is how they create meaning from the experience. Super important. Another important part of creating a fun environment in your lessons is the culture of learning that you are creating. And the idea is that they're learning this skill, and to learn a skill, you need to make mistakes and to fail, and it can be really hard. But that's the process, and we really need to help them understand that it's not about being a perfect skier, it's about learning, and that takes time. So exploration is often something that we tend to leave maybe till the end and often don't get to, but I regret that a lot, because I think exploration is the time where kids can really connect to skiing, an activity, the place, the concept of skiing. And that is, when they can connect to that personally through exploration, that's ultimately what brings them back to skiing as an older person. So try to keep time in your lessons for exploration. So for skiing purposes, PSIA has split child development into three broad categories of called what they call the CAP model, and that's cognitive, affective, and physical. The idea being that kids have things going on in all three of these areas, and depending on how old they are, what age group they're in, they have different things going on depending on their age. So we'll just go through the three age groups that I mentioned earlier: the 3 to 6 year olds, 7 to 12, and then the teenagers. And I do need to note that while these are generalizations about these age groups, obviously there's they may generally be true, but there's always exceptions. So teaching young kids ages 3 to 6. Now, kids in our programs, we don't teach 3-year-olds. The youngest we have is 4. But those are our treasure trailers, and then our 6-year-olds, most of whom are new skiers. So in the cognitive realm, these people are extremely imaginative, and they really enjoy games. They have very short attention spans, and you really can't lay on them more than 1 or 2 things at a time. One is better. Be aware that they may really be missing their mom or their dad, and you may know about that, but they may not be saying anything either. So super important that they feel safe, and they really like getting the feedback that they're doing a good job. An important thing about our youngest skiers are that their bodies are so small that their head in proportion is heavier. Um, so that tends to change their balance and how they move about. Also, their fine motor skills at this age are really not developed, so they tend to move around and don't have a lot of control over maneuvers that older kids will. So, important takeaways in our youngest skier group: simple, single focus, big movements and tasks, uh, and lots of play. So this is our next group of kids, our little Nords, ages 7 to 12. And they have progressed, obviously, and are more into challenges. They're enjoying adventures more, new experiences, and they love team games. They are also able to retain more things at once now, so you can start to give more complex instructions. Um, like all ages, they learn through experience and interaction. They're big into rules. Some of them are rule followers. Fairness and justice is very important at this age. And very important for instructors to know that this age group tends to overestimate their ability. And it's hard to explain what that looks like, but it's really obvious when it's there. So be on the lookout for that, and don't believe them when they tell you they can take that jump anytime they want. So our little Nords are 7 to 12 kids, very influenced by their peers. They really feel the need to fit in, and they understand the rules a lot of times, but they are pushing, kind of learning where those boundaries are. And it's really important for them to feel accomplished. Physically, they are growing right before your very eyes. Literally, it seems sometimes. Girls will be growing faster than boys. They're developing their fine motor, and they've got more flexibility now, more independence, physical independence, and they're going to be very willing to practice so that they can feel a sense of accomplishment. So some quick takeaways from teaching this age group: they need clear boundaries and descriptions of what we're doing now, what we'll be doing, when we're going to have lunch, so that they have that kind of structure. They need to have very supportive group activities as opposed to individual activities, and they're willing to work on tasks, which is important, particularly in our teaching areas, because it's at this age that the kids are really gaining their downhill skills, and that's the barrier that they have to overcome in order to be able to ski up top as they grow older. So teenagers in our programs are our freeheelers and our trailblazers. And these young people are fostering their sense of independence. They're looking for friendships. Friendship is super important at this age, and sense of accomplishment. Cognitively speaking, teenagers love to test limits, and they very often act without thinking. So got to be on the lookout for that. very concerned about what others might think about them, how they're fitting in. This is real important as an instructor. Teens don't like to be singled out. Like, Johnny, you come do this drill and everybody watch Johnny. The teenagers are not into that, so don't do that. You know, they're going through a lot, and I think it's important as instructors to understand the growth and development that's happening at this age, and to give them the benefit of the doubt, you know, when they show up to lessons on the grumpy or temperamental side. And these are young adults, so please treat them as such. Also, for this age group, going through puberty, they're changing rapidly, and sometimes that can create awkwardness and just feeling of struggle. So be aware that that is a factor for teenagers, and be sure to cut them some slack for that. So just to wrap up here, as an instructor with a group, it's advisable to try and avoid behavior problems before they happen, rather than trying to deal with them on the back end. It's a lot less hassle to plan up front than it is to take care of disasters on the back end. A lot less aggravating for everybody involved. So by planning a playful lesson, like we've discussed here, you're going to maximize their fun, and you have the best chance of engaging them. So be sure you're matching your lessons to the students that you have, and you know, getting to know them is a really critical part of that, but also understanding their age group and the things that are appropriate for that age group. So just to review, easy fun is experiential and introduces novelty. Hard fun is about challenge and creating a culture of positive learning. People fun, creating friendships, creating opportunities for friendship and collaboration. And then serious fun is about making it relevant to your students and helping them create meaning. Just one more thing about behavior. It's a big topic, and we don't obviously have time to dive deep into that, but I want everybody to know that you can come to me and talk to me if you do have problems with kids, and you know, we address those things on a case-by-case basis. So, parting thoughts. As Terry likes to say, we keep them safe, keep them smiling, and teach them to ski. And it's definitely in that order. So our edict, our number one edict for kids is keeping them safe, which can be a bigger job than meets the eye at the beginning. We will have a few minutes during our synchronous learning by Zoom to address any questions people have here. And of course, you can always reach out to me by email or text. Here are a couple of resources for you. This is about the teaching process that we talked about at the beginning: play, drill, adventure, and summary. You can read a little more about that. And then this link is to the series of videos that PSIA created about playful teaching. So thanks for listening, and I will see you guys soon in our Zoom session.